Did you know cowboys used to hang lanterns on their saddles at night to find the path home? It was early satellite navigation. Hello and welcome to Assorted Meeples. I'm Phillip, the Meeple on duty, and today we are talking Kickstarter deliveries. I got 2 in the mail recently, and I am working, I was too eager to unbox them to get a camera. So now we're going to open them up and look at the components and talk about those. So let's get into it. Sorry for the hard cut there, but I had to go get my knife because I know some of the cards are not even opened yet, and I want to actually open them this time. First one is right here behind me. This is Dogfight by Yarn Mail Games. It's an Australian company, I do believe, and you are dogfighters in World War I era biplanes, and this is It's a 2 to 4 player, but the funnest way to play it, from what it sounds like, is the 4 player count, because you're going to be playing on teams. One person is your pilot, one person is your gunner, and that's where the great part about this game comes in. This was a smaller Kickstarter, so I don't know how many of you actually ordered this and got it delivered already, but it sounds like they're doing really well on that regard. I am actually surprised because this is a really small company that managed to beat out all the big ones that I'm still waiting on, or in one case probably never going to see. And I'm shocked by that. Like, they got their stuff done, they got it in on time, they got it on the boats on time, and they got it to us on time. I have no idea if they turned a profit. I have none of that, but they did what they said they were going to do in their Kickstarter. So yeah. Do you guys back small Kickstarters, or do you just go for the big campaigns that are games that a lot of people are drooling over with a huge amount of hype? I found this one, I want to say, through a Facebook ad that led me to the Kickstarter. And once I saw the game concept, I was like, yes, I'm in. Give me the game. The great part about this is it's called Dogfight, but your team is actually made up of dogs. I don't know if you can see that. It's a very nice box, by the way. It's a bit of an odd shape, but I'm okay with that. So some little things when you start collecting board games, like odd shaped games, just make life hard. Nice seal on this. Like, it's not too tight and it's not super loose. It's not going anywhere. So, like I said, what's the catch? Here's the rule book. I like this because the rule book is the appropriate size for the box that you have. You do not need to take up the entire box size with your rule book. Because what if somebody decides they want to make a smaller box or put it in something else, because all of your box is air? Isn't the case in this one, but I'm looking at you, Citadels. I'm looking at you, God, there's another one. It's just terrible. Where, like, you punch everything out and there's nothing left in the box. And I'm just like, it's not okay. But I can't consolidate it because the rule book will get all folded up and bent and broke. Next up, you have 2 planes. You have 2 views. Sorry, some of this is a little hard to track. You have your gunner view, which looks behind the plane. And you have your pilot view, which is the front of the plane. And you have this in the white ones are the gunners, or the pilot, and the back, or the black borders, are the gunners. You have 2 of those, 1 for each set of planes. You have a board for both teams that is double-sided. So one side is your healthy, one side's where you've already taken a hit. And this is where you lay down your cards for your actions for your gunner and your pilot. This is actually a very simple game to play out, which is what I really enjoyed about it. Each player has a card of hands. I am terrible at English. Each player has a hand of cards that as you go through the game, you're going to be playing down on this board in front of you a card. You're going to slot them in, and you're going to reveal them 1, 2, 3, 4 after everybody's played their cards out for the turn. So it's an action selection sequencing thing, kind of like Robo Rally. What I like about this, though, is you're trying to communicate with either your gunner or your pilot to line up a shot to take down the other flying ace. The hard part becomes you have to talk out loud with your teammate so the opposing team is hearing what your plans are, and they will adjust what they're doing. So until the cards are down and flopped out, you're going to be changing things around. The next really cool part about this is they made these awesome little cardboard cutout biplanes that slide in just like this. So now this is what sits on the view board. It either sits where you can hit them or everything like that. And they're very nice. This is the one part I don't like, is the insert. While all the components and the cards and all that are great, the insert where you store things, you actually have to take your planes apart for them to sit in the box without issue. So next we'll move on to the cards. You have 2 decks for each team, so I'm going to bust into this. Oh, this got the little cigarette thingy on it, if I can find it. That's a nice touch. I like it. I just have to find the edge. There it is, right there. You know, right when you clip your nails is the time you need a nail to get something done. I don't know what that actually is called. I just know it from cigarette cases. Okay. Oh yeah, these are nice. These feel like a very heavy cardstock, not true playing card, but you can't see through the backs. And what the 2 decks are is the white border is your pilot. Your pilot is who's moving you around and who's trying to get your shot lined up on your gunner. Your gunner is trying to play cards to shoot down the opponent, and they give you the area. So it's basically a 6 grid of where you can shoot at or move to, and you're either moving your plane or you're moving your opponent's plane around in that view. And the gunners are black borders, and the pilot is white borders. There's also 2 decks for the opposing team. They did an absolutely fabulous job of this game. Like I said, they delivered right on time, right in a time window. On a Kickstarter, if you're within 6 months, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you did well and you did what you said you were going to do. If you start getting outside of that, I start questioning whether you actually delivered on time. 6-month window is plenty good to get you my game, or for you to get my game to me that you said you would do in a timely manner. So we'll set Dogfight aside. I'm really looking forward to that one. Even at 2-player, it sounds really fun. I need to look into the rules on that a little more. Get rid of the trash out of the way there. Next up, I got a 2-part fulfillment. Maul Peak was the Kickstarter that was ran. And this is a 2-player asymmetric worker placement kind of boss battler. I also got this as well. And Skulk Hollow is the same thing. This was the original game. This was the new game. I picked them both up together for a good price. And I do have to say, this was one of the best packaged games that I have received through the mail. They stuck these together just like this. They shrink wrapped and tape the shrink wrap around it, or not shrink wrap, bubble wrap around it, and then they put it in an appropriate box size where it was wasn't bouncing around, but it wasn't too snug that a damage would hurt the boxes. World of Boar is a single player kind of a campaign that looks like it might be a one-time run. I do not know, but it goes through both boxes. What I really liked about this game is the production quality of it. I'm going to set Skulk aside right here because I'm pretty sure this is by Pencil First Games. They make a lot of games. They're doing very well for themselves right now, and I can see why, because of the quality of what I'm seeing already. This rule book. Now, this is the outside of the rule book is cardstock. The inner pages are heavier paper as well. Nicely done, well laid out. I was able to quickly read through some of the rules, and it was making sense already. They're doing a great job of story in this game as well, and not just in the first one, and then you have a second one. They're tying the world together. It's all one big world. Set the rulebook aside. They give a big map, some backstory and flavor text right here. If you want to play Skulk Hollow and Maul Peak, here are the rules that change for each one. You have your player board. You have the kingdom map. And then the part that I was not exactly ready for. You have the giant monsters that are all cut out. I haven't taken them out of their thingies yet because they sit in here so nicely. Each one has their own. They have their own abilities and their own... You have to climb up these monsters to take them out. And man, am I looking forward to this. Each box has 4 monsters. So you have these. Then you have player mats that explain their each different monsters' abilities, and then you have the Grizzard abilities. One side's playing the giant monsters, one side's playing the kingdom. This is the Grizzard. The other one, I think you have the Foxen. What I really appreciate in here is I have a little expansion that came with it, the Ruins, Ancient Relics. But each type, so you have each monster, your 4 monsters, and your Grizzard, has their own tuck box. Inside this tuck box is their cards, the energy, and the Meeples that you need to play them. So you don't have to scrabble through everything. They are all together, nice and easy to grab and put back in here. I love this idea. Oops, we'll put it back the way it should be. This is an amazing box design. The only thing that would make this better is if somehow they had designed this to accept everything together. But that's me. I like to consolidate and save space as much as I can. These inserts are top notch. They hold everything just right for travel. Each monster has its own set of cards that they play from and their own ginormous mini. And all of its pieces, just like the Grizzards, are all set together nicely. I love what they did here. This is a 10 out of 10 for me on how you do package things very nicely. On the tuck box, you also have data of what the monster is and kind of how they act. So it makes, if you're sitting trying to decide which one you want to play, makes that a little easier. And that just slides in nicely, goes back in your tuck box, push it closed, put it back in, preferably the same way so you don't get things upside down. I'll put those cards back in there. And the same thing with Skulk Hollow. It's the same setup. They knew what they were doing. They did it well on the first shot. They did it repeated the same process, and it looks amazing. I look forward to playing this game because I do like asymmetric powers, and I like the ability to outthink and outwit your opponent. So I'm looking forward to trying this game against Heather. Actually, both of these games against Heather, because the Dogfight will play 2-player. So yeah, that is kind of it. There's obviously been some B-roll over top of it. Games are coming in again. I'm excited. I need to get them to the table before they just stop and get stuck on my shelf of shame, which I'm going to try and get knocked out this year as well. But soon is a relative term that has no end, and there's a lot of games in that queue right now. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to leave you guys at. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Take care. See you next time. Bye.
If you like what you just saw, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more great gaming content.